Sustainable Urban Mobility and Commuting in Baltic Cities project SUMBA. This is a project under the Interreg Baltic Sea Region program. We started in October 2017 and will continue until March 2021. We deal with intermodality in passenger transport, but from a very special commuter perspective. As more and more people choose to live in the suburbs while they continue to work in the cities, this situation results in a high number of daily commuters. Commuter traffic is still dominated by private cars, which results in problems such as congestion, air pollution, high demand of parking spaces, and higher cost of public transport. Using intermodality to tackle the problem of commuting can help cities create greener and more integrated network that offers a better combination for the final user. As intermodality is easy to define as a simple combination of different transport modes and means on a single journey, however, there might be, of course, barriers like poor timetables integration, forced integration, to name the most common. It is not an attractive subject. This requires multi-stakeholder agreements and non-standard approaches, and this is based on the culture that is not available in many cities. The problem is very diverse as we deal with complex systems, and the solutions are not easy. Cities, however, are different and differently good at supporting intermodality, and this offers huge potential to learn from each other. SUMBA Partnership is formed by 10 pilot regions. Those regions are core team as well as the observing cities, which will implement some or all of our project tools. The consortium is also formed by professional organizations dealing with transport or transport modeling, as well as environmental organizations. The consortium is very unique and very diverse, this creating an opportunity to better attacking the problem. What is being achieved in the pilot regions? For example, in Tallinn, there is a feasibility study of tramway expansion. This created good learning opportunity between two cities, because Olsztyn completed the reintroduction of tramline and now considers building a new one. In Tartu, traffic counters are being implemented, but the long-term goal is assessing model share in real time. In Veghio, a cycling library was created. In Riga, new transport model based on data, concept for intermodal hubs in Riga functional areas were created. In Cholet, basic data generations on commuters, those were not existing so far, and also kicking off the development of an app for public transport users. In Olsztyn, very fine new household-based data. In Gdynia, there is an infrastructure change towards regional hubs, and the special effort is being put at implementing intermodal solutions. Hamburg, there was a generation of non-existent commuter data with an extensive survey. In Warsaw, suburban mobilities, and I must say, this is a look at commuter mobility from a different perspective, because typically we look from the perspective of a central city, while suburban municipalities of Warsaw will look at the transport system outside in, and this is a first integrated look at their commuting. Our toolkit has been developed and tested in these areas, and it is an integrated toolkit that helps planners to assess, plan, and integrate intermodal mobility solutions into transport plans and policies of their cities. It is all available for use, and you can visit sumba.eu and download our tools. We started with broad assessment of commuting, then we looked, and we always had in mind that it will be integrated with other methods. One such method is SUMP. The SUMP itself will look at the loads of the transport system, but not at the loads resulting from commuting. We believe that we provide data to fill that gap. We develop data collection guidance and modeling guidance to help cities choose and implement modeling solutions. Based on these data approaches, we also created Commuter Masterplans. And it is not another planning document, but just a preludium towards solid and feasible action plans, which will be key feasible interventions into the transport system. This followed by Intermodalizer Index. This is a benchmark, and it is not just a score, rather it is a tool to assess how you fared and how better you can be, and from which cities you can use the good examples. So let's dive for a minute into data and models. We started with tried and tested SWOT analysis in order to bring partners to common ground, assess their situation, find similarities, and easy to achieve fixes. Then we assess database decision making, how it is done, what needs to be done, because we believe that decision making based on data is essential in complex world, especially the world that undergoes rapid changes. The project developed guidance on data collection. And the culture of making decisions based on data is very important. Of course, we can say that efforts that can be counted count the most, and that continuous observation is very important. But it is worth noting that it not only builds the data availability, but creates trusts towards estimations and forecasts, of course within realistic expectations. We can say that by building a model that mirrors the reality well, and with good data, you can check if the intervention in the transport system is worth the money without spending a dime. Of course, there are many models that suit different needs, and SUMBA provides an overview of available solutions and approaches. So, as good inputs create good outputs, it is important to prepare well. Of course, integrating a model and running it is not the end of the journey. When you implement the solution, you have to support it then. And of course, there are two main approaches, in-house versus outsource. Both have advantages and disadvantages, and we discuss both in detail, especially looking at the risks associated with both and how to mitigate them. Have a look at our guidance. Visit zumba.eu and download the guidance. It is, of course, a way of making forward in the modeling world without a headache. And there are different possibilities and approaches presented. It is worth preparing, as sometimes there are solutions that will not suit your situations well, and it is worth having a look before you start. Based on these database tools, we created Commuter Masterplan. This is a systematic planning approach, and it was developed in order to look at commuting in a systematic way. It is a thorough overview of the situation of commuter flows and its impact on the transport systems. We ensured that there is a good integration with other methods like SUMP. And of course, those observations and analysis are nothing without a solid action. So these are transferable into action plans of sustainable transport goals. And last but not least is an Intermodalizer index. It is our GAM. It is an easy to make assessment. So it is easy in a way that you can calculate it yourself. There is no need for you to have a PhD in transport modeling. There is no need for you to be a transport planner. You can be a citizen who wants to have good commuting experience in your area. The data which are required to compute this index is not an extensive thing. So we took a basic set of data in order to make it feasible for everybody. But this is not a simple scorecard. It includes lots of topics, but in the simplest possible way. It creates not a single number. Of course, you can say that your number is such and such, but it's not the end of the journey. It also produces a heat map or a chart, and you can check how you fared against other cities. You can check what is good in your city and where can you improve. You can also check similar cities, either in size or in problems, and check where they fared better and how you can use their solutions, of course tailored to your situation in the city. You're welcome to use our resources, and we will be more than happy to complete the Intermodalizer evaluation for you, also with the results interpreted and commented. So it will function for you as a toolkit to check ways to improve your commuter experience in the city. You can either contact any of our country partners or myself, and we will provide you with all the required data and guidance to make this experience easy for you. Thank you very much.